So this is my first time ever having a resource pack on Minecraft PC, and I honestly don't know what to think of it. This is the 3D Plus resource pack made by The only thing I've seen noticeable is the difference in some textures, such as oak, which that doesn't really look too much like 3D, and plus it looks really weird right there with that transition. But there's flowers and rocks and everything scattered around here. But nothing else has really changed, at least not that I've noticed. Okay, it makes the beacons fuzzy. The planks look very nice. The glowstone doesn't look any different. And then there's... Ooh! I like the stone bricks. That's very nice. What the heck is this? Oh, that's the Department of Science. There's apparently veins in the grass now as well. There's weird lines everywhere. Oh, it's because it's trying to make it 3D. Whoa, that looks weird. Now I know why it takes so long to load the texture, or no, resource packs in. There's a difference between resource packs and texture packs. One requires mods and forge. So since you can't have any mods whatsoever on Realms, I got a resource pack. And I'm liking it, but I have another one. But I don't want to add it on right now because I want to see what all this adds. So it doesn't change cobblestone, which is probably a good thing. I love this. The sugarcane looks amazing. Oh, they're flowers. The fire looks somewhat different, I think. Maybe the smoke, I don't know. Something looks different with that. Oh god. That's just laggy being over there. What the heck? Why? Nothing is on right now. Well, technically... Oh, wait. Is there 3D with redstone? Oh god, this may not be a... this might not be a good resource pack for this island, because there is a lot of redstone that goes on under the face of the island. So these texture packs... Oh, wow! The crafting table looks really cool. These look very reminiscent of the ones that you can get on console. I'm assuming you can get them on PS4 as well. I know you can get them on Xbox. The bricks look very nice as well. And the stone, chiseled stone, I believe is what that is. I built this not too long ago. I don't even know what the blocks I used are. Well, this looks much nicer. With all the flowers being 3D. Oh, how do iron golems look? Oh. Well, that's disappointing. And unfortunately, I have to put a fence here. Although, that's not too big of a concern now because they look very nice. Because... I had an iron golem. Wait, do you have... Okay, so you are labeled. I had one of those guys in here, but he walked into the fire and killed himself. So now we have to have a safety mechanism in front of the fireplace. Before, it looked very homey. Now it looks like a place where kids would be. Which, that's not how this would work. Wait! This is a restaurant! I made a restaurant in Inferno Ash because I didn't think there wasn't a restaurant in Inferno Ash, and I thought the only place you could go out to eat was in the Avalanche Diner. There wasn't, because you can get into the Junior's Pub and Grub through Inferno Ash. Ah, frick! Spruce doors look very nice. Ooh, iron bars got a revamp as well. I also like that. It'd be better if it had triangles on it, because triangles are the strongest shape, but... I don't know if that's possible in this game. And also, the barbed wire. I almost said cobbed wire. Oh, yeah, we should make that cobbed wire, because cobwebs and then barbed wire. It's barbed wire, but it's cobwebs. So we could say it's cobbed wire. Because, yeah, let's do that. The sea lanterns look very nice as well. I don't mean for this to be a showcase for 3D Plus texture packs, no, resource packs. Dang it, I'm gonna get that so confused so many times. But I don't have a lot to show off right now, and I just wanted to make a video on here, so I'm doing this. And this is Clarity Plus. I will say that the resource pack that the 3D Plus is the low version. So it's the 1.13 version, because that's the version I have to run to run Realms. So that's the low version. There is like an ultra version, but you can't have that one unless you're on an older version because of reasons. I don't know why. Now, I don't know if I'll keep this resource pack or not. Don't mind her. It's not really the look I had for Junior's Empire, but it is better than nothing. And it makes the animals look very weird to me. Like, that doesn't look like a healthy chicken. Nor do the pigs look healthy to me. I saw a pig over here. Hold on. Can you come in? Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Oh! Grass jiggles. Okay. I didn't know that could happen with resource packs. Are those bats? Oh, for frick's sake, we have bats? Are those bats? What the heck is that? I think that's something that's supposed to be like a 3D thing, like this, like weeds. I don't know what that's supposed to be, though. Oh, acorns! Because acorns grow on spruce, right? This is actually a pretty nice texture pack, and it fits this theme quite well, because it reminds me of the texture pack for the Skyrim on Xbox. That was my favorite one. It was so cool, and I love the music on that. They did such a good job on that. Because Junior's Empire is in the future, but it's like a third world country, kind of. I mean, in some ways it is, in some ways it isn't. We're kind of... I don't know how to explain it, really. We're light years ahead in terms of science compared to Earth, but we're years and years behind in medicinal use. So it's kind of evened out. As I said before, I didn't want the island to be too overpowered, because then it would contradict with things like the storyline narrative later, and I wanted it to be realistic in the sense of science fiction realism, and this fits it rather nice. I mean, Ryan doesn't have to get this one if he doesn't want it, but if he does, it would fit the theme of Inferno Ash very well. Just because we had the same texture pack back on the server, because continuity is, like, seeing the same thing is very important to me while playing co-op, because if I see bookcases like this or glowstone like that and then he doesn't, it's kind of difficult to point out certain things. Does the TV look any different? No. So player heads look the same, which is fine, but I thought they would have looked a little bit different, which it doesn't make any sense why they would, actually. And now this is what crafting tables look like. I don't necessarily care for that. I also don't care for the glowstone, but if that's what the glowstone has to look like to make the entire game look like this, I'm okay with that. Plus, the sun is actually round now. Even villagers got a... Okay, I may not keep this one. Good God, you guys are ugly. Ugh! I kind of like the glass in this. I mean, it would have been nice if there was a little bit of texture into them, because now it just looks like I'm walking on air. It's not the most realistic thing. What the heck? There's a different pattern in the yarn now. Or wool. The chests look awesome. Seriously, is this the one from Skyrim? Wow, the core house looks really cool. I like this. Okay, so this is radioactive records right now. Ooh, I like the banner. It looks much nicer than it did stock. Okay, I like this. This is nice. Having a new face on Minecraft every now and then, it just adds so much to the gameplay for me. Like back on the server in early 2018, I had Seuss or Crap to Shoes or Kuda or something like that. And then I put it back on stock, and it gave the game a whole new look. I seriously do not know why that shadow keeps appearing there. And I didn't even know what resource packs were until just recently when I tried to install them after knowing that I can't have any mods whatsoever on Realms. So I'm very glad that I've discovered them. I'm kind of sad that I didn't discover them before, because this is gorgeous. Ooh, I wonder what the core heart would look like. Man, that makes it very difficult to see the buttons now. Okay, so the water got a revamp with the casual plus as well. I don't know if it's supposed to be casual plus or if that's just like casual and then space and then it auto configures to plus. Oh, good lord. Oh my. Oh, he has a beard. Nice one, dude. Okay, that's not the most realistic thing. What is this supposed to be? Oh, is that conflicting with like the 3D objects or something? If that's the case, that sucks. I mean, it doesn't matter because we don't go over here anyways. And having that's not... I mean, it doesn't look too bad. It is floating, but we have a freaking core. I don't think floating barbed wire or floating iron bars is our biggest concern on the island for realism. So lava is much more vibrant now, and the core heart is still not what I would like it to be, but I can't fix that. I love the Cortland neighborhood. This is so cool. I love this. Yeah, the sheep look fine, but the pigs look awful. I think Ryan and I discussed this in a video a while back, but we have houses here for sale in the Corlin neighborhood, but, well, I guess some would be taken up by villagers until we actually have a real person on the island. But they look very reminiscent of the ones from Earth, and then... Oh, where was I going with that? Oh, it correlated with his theory that we came here from Earth to make a profit off of the island, because in the early theory of the island is there was a bunch of islands like floating around each other, and then people would trade and bargain off of each other to create a stock market, kind of like how Asgard was. It's like in a different universe. No, different galaxy. So kind of like how the islands would be very far apart from Earth, but they still speak English and they're still humans. It doesn't make much sense, but I like it because science fiction. And it's like we copied the houses from Earth to the island, and then we just said to the people of the island that these were our creations, we came up with them, and that, well, I guess we couldn't say that now because people can transport themselves to Earth because of the KMT device. Huh, well that doesn't work. I also like how torches don't light themselves until you get close enough to them. It's really cool. Oh, God. Actually, this could be good. Wow, that looks really cool. Because it looks like people have had radiation exposure before. I mean, he doesn't look the healthiest, and the animals definitely don't. So we could say that they're exposed to too much radiation because they're down here. I mean, being exposed to too much radiation on the island would be all over the island because the core emits so much of it. And the reason the core heart is so small is because it shrinks when we expel energy out into space. So if it gets too hot, or if it obtains too much energy, we shoot a KMT beam out into space, and hopefully that won't hit like a planet, because if it does, it'll probably explode it. Or if it gets shot into a star, it would burn up the star quicker until the energy from the KMT beam is used up. So it would basically age the star faster than what it was aging at before because it has more energy to burn. I believe that's how that works. But pieces of the core heart fall off, and that's where we get the glowstone. Except we didn't make these pillars with the glowstone on the bottom. The core made that. So it was a stage. I don't know if I documented it. If I did, it was only documented on the island, so it's in a book somewhere. This was a failed attempt at a farm down here. I think they are still farming. I don't know. I tried to make a place to have... I mean, this is a huge villager hub, so I wanted to have something reminiscent of a villager hub, like a stock Minecraft villager place, because in every Minecraft village there's a farm. So I wanted to have that, but then it didn't work because it didn't have immediate exposure to the sun, so the plants didn't survive, and then it didn't flourish. So that's why I made... Where the frick is it? This down here. Wow, that looks so pretty. Man, even look at the text. It's different. Like it's a different font because of the resource pack. How do people do this? It's probably just very simple, and then you just have to understand it. Okay. Yeah, there's something correlating or conflicting with the 3D plus and the casual plus, because that's not supposed to be like that. And that sucks so much because it looks so good at most places, but then other places it looks weird. Like the shrubs, you can see the lines and it doesn't look that great. If the lines weren't there, they look pretty good. And the water looks good. I mean, this is what Inferno is. It's like an older style town, but it has like first world country rules. I mean, not really, because we hang people. We don't hang them for fun, disclaimer. We hang them because they deserve it. And also, this just looks like too red now. It doesn't look... Okay. Well, that's an issue. If Ryan gets this texture pack, I'll change the eye to orange, even though that's backwards. Or maybe I'll put the magma cube for the I and then orange concrete or something for the A. But if he does, then I'll just leave that there because it doesn't really bother me that much. So, it's an old, like, medieval town, because I think people hanged people in medieval towns. I mean, they even did it in the 1800s. Red Dead Redemption to it. That was in the 1800s. Everything that happened in Red Dead 2 was real. Okay, but it's so fitting because it's an older town and it has like an older musk kind of look to it. Musk is a scent. I don't think it has a look to it. Yeah, this is a little bit of a problem. That looks so cool, the glowstone or the sea lanterns, because that looks... I got the tingles in my tummy. Another disclaimer, that's not what I sound like on roller coasters. What? That was supposed to be a poppy because there was an attack from the ice golems. And these aren't ice golems because they have red eyes. I just want to make that clear. They're Infernians. Wow. That truck looks much nicer now. Ah! Oh, it even has a grill. And then the license plate. Man, that's cool. I like that. That makes the truck look so much nicer. Hey. Are you Sam Play? Hold on, are you seriously Sam Play? You're in a weird... Oh. You're in a very weird place. What the frick are you doing, bud? Okay, now on to what I was talking about before, or actually no, I mentioned it, I wasn't talking about it. The core entered its 55th? Yeah, 55th stage. So while it was going through its 55th stage, Deegan Janssen and another scientist who were... I was Deegan Janssen and then the other scientist was Ryan. I can't remember the name he gave that scientist. They went up to the top of the core, and there's actually a flag up there now, because he wanted to put it up there because it was the Department of Science, or no. It was consulted by the island's officials to have Deegan Janssen and the other scientists go up to the top and put a flag up there for charting the entire core. So even though this core has been here since the start of the island, we haven't charted all of it. I was trying to think of a different word besides charted. So since it was the island's officials, he put the Inferno Ash flag there. And I didn't record it because I didn't know if it was going to be like a full journey or not, and I kind of wish I should have, or I kind of wish I would have, because it was actually kind of fun, and it would have been nice for a future reference for when we make a movie or something on this. So the core's 55th stage it's like hitting puberty, but not in the sense that it's young. I mean, it's very old and it's past its midlife, maybe, I don't know. Technically, it would live on forever if people would just keep reproducing and then there would be core metabolizers, because the core's heart wouldn't blow up. So if there wasn't anybody to expel excess energy, the core's heart would explode and then it would be absolutely colossal, because the core has black magic, and then it would be very big. It's going through puberty in the sense that it's growing. So I don't know if you did I record that? I don't know if I showed off the core very much. The core was much more open. So I closed it off and then I said that the core did that by itself. Well, okay. For the island's purposes, the core did that, but for real, like, for YouTube's sake, like real life, I built cobblestone around it so it's more closed off than it was before, and the crack right there, the core did that to itself. It had a minor spacequake, but the island is so reinforced now from the previous spacequake that no one felt it, really, except Deegan and the other scientist. I'll just say scientist Louisiana. That was the first state I looked at on my map. They felt some rumbling and creaks at the top, or near the top. So it had a minor spacequake, but then it wasn't enough to actually throw them off of it or anything. They just felt it. You can't hurt me. I just feel you. But as you can see here, this is much more closed off than it was before. And I like having it closed off because it would hold in the heat. And also, it looks much more cooler now. Okay, that was... that wasn't meant to be a joke. It's actually cooler up top now than it was. So the average temperature on the island is now 91 degrees instead of 114. Which you're probably thinking, that's very hot. And yes, it would be, except not here. Because we've adapted to it. So, it's actually quite moderate. But down under here, it's actually warmer because, well, one, it's not closed off, and two, it doesn't have sun heat. So heat from the sun that's orbiting us. We don't orbit it, it orbits us from the core's black magic. It still penetrates the KMT, so it heats up the core. It heats up the core, and then it just expels energy from the actual, just the core itself. Stuff doesn't get cold, it just gets less hot. So the core expels energy off since it evolved that in its 54th stage. That wasn't a very big stage, so that wasn't documented officially. I mean, for roleplay purposes, it was documented, and it's in the island's archive, but it wasn't documented on our website or anything. If I feel like it, I'll probably make an article on this, but since I'm making a video on it, I don't know if I will. I really like making articles, but I don't know if I want to spend the time to write out what I just said in this video when I could think of something else to write. But it needs to be warmer down here because it doesn't have that sun's heat from it. So the core has to heat up down here, and then the heatness stays into the wall because rocks absorb heat and they obtain heat. So that's how that works. This down here is basically like a cave because it's covered up completely and it doesn't have any natural sunlight. So any people who want to have vitamin D, they either have to take it or they have to go up to the top, which they are allowed to. They just might not be allowed to go in Inferno Ash if they've been banned from it. So caves are cold, so stuff has to be heated up there more down there than it does up here since the core irradiates the sun's heat off of it. So it absorbs it and then it irradiates it. I think I've said that properly. But also, since the core is now blocked off more than it was, it actually looks like the house was built into the core, or maybe the core was formed around the house, which that's not how it was. The house was built after the core was formed, both in real life and in roleplay purposes. The horses don't look too shabby. What about the polar bears? Look at me. You look no different. I don't think the developer has actually upgraded you yet. And the pigs are just off. I don't think you were supposed to hear that villager. Wow. The paintings are very nice now. Look at a little tree! Oh, that's sketchy. There wasn't a whole lot to go over in this. I will show off Ryan's next invention, or newest invention, next episode, because this has gone on quite a while. So basically what happened since last episode was the core ran to its 55th stage, which happened for roleplay purposes over a few weeks, and then they went up there while it was happening, but they didn't feel it because the core doesn't generate extremely quickly. So it wasn't that big of an update for the island. It was just something noticeable, so I wanted to cover it. This doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that the core is going to explode or anything. It's just it was protecting itself from environments, if that makes any sense. It was creating a protective barrier around itself to protect itself because it's now matured, I guess. That would correlate with what I said before. So now it wants to protect itself, and then it did that. So the core has used up more energy, again, correlates, and then it used it to grow, correlates.